Is Raiden Constellation 2 worth it? Is it worth getting out your credit card and swiping away to get it? Well, let's talk about the pros and cons of it compared to C0 Raiden and whether or not you should get it in this upcoming rerun, and so stick around until the end of the video where we will answer if C2 Raiden is worth it. So Raiden, what a character, one of my favorite characters who I have loved using since the release and is featured in many of my team comps, and for good reason. She is amazing at not only being a battery but providing much needed damage to certain teams, and ever since then I have wondered if I should go for a Constellation 2. So firstly, to answer the age old question, we'll need to look at a few things. The first is the damage increase. Is it better? Well, yes. Ignoring 60% of the enemy's defense is huge and will make clearing domains, Spiral Abyss, or just any enemy way faster, and you'll be able to hit way bigger numbers with it. Is it worth spending possibly hundreds of dollars summoning in order to get it? Well, maybe. It depends. So the upgrade in damage, while good, isn't needed. Unless you're going for the record for fastest Abyss clear or something, you probably won't need this. And compared to some other constellations, say Noel's C6, which can completely change the way you play her, Raiden's one is just a damage increase. Also, a lot of the best parties she fits into, she is usually acting as a battery or sub DPS, and so absolutely maxing her DPS is not necessarily the best thing to do. But now if you are playing her as a main DPS, then this will be very good. An insane damage increase. But now when this question gets brought up, there is also the question of what about her best in slot weapon, the Engulfing Lightning? Should I get that over a C2? So in terms of damage, the C2 will be better than the Engulfing Lightning by quite a bit. However, there's a lot of factors that, well, factor into this. The first being what weapon you have currently will determine how big the DPS increase will be. For example, if you're going from a bad 4-star, let's say the Favonius Lance, then a damage increase to a best in slot weapon will be quite noticeable. But going from like a 5-star like the Staff of Homer, you won't notice too much of an increase in damage, although there still is one. As well as going from something like the Catch or the Wavebreaker's Fin, you also won't notice too much of an increase in damage, especially if you have it at high refinement levels. And so going for C2 will still net a bigger damage increase than her weapon, even if you have a 4-star. But the other thing to note is that getting to a best in slot weapon will be much easier than going for a C2 if you're at C0. As due to the new weapon pity system, if you miss out 2 times then you will get it guaranteed on the 3rd time, as well as the fact that you'll still be able to use her weapon on other characters, unlike her Constellation. And it is quite a good weapon that you will be able to use on other characters, and so that is very important to note, as if you do perhaps get bored of Raiden or don't want to use her, you will still be able to transfer her weapon to someone else. So while Raiden C2 is a much better option than a weapon, we must look at one more thing that you could spend that money on, and that is her team. So the biggest DPS increase, possibly even more than her C2, would be her team and team's equipment. So Raiden is a character that is very good on specific teams. Throwing her in any old team, she won't have a good time, and so focusing your money on improving the whole team is going to be very good. So the first big team that really made Raiden was a national team consisting of Raiden, Shinshu, Shinlin, and Bennett. There is some variation to this comp, I'll just keep it simple for now. So firstly, to play this comp effectively, you will need Bennett C1, as this will remove the HP restriction, allowing you to continuously have a attack buff on Raiden, which is extremely good, and honestly is something you should get regardless of the team you're planning to build, as Bennett is one of the best supports in the game who fits into so many teams, and so spending money to improve this will be much more useful in the long run compared to only focusing on Raiden, especially because he is often seen in most Raiden comps due to him being one of the best healers and buffers in the game, and so improving him would be my first choice. But to go back to the question at hand, C2 Raiden versus C0 C0 Raiden, I think it's clear. In terms of damage, there is a decent damage increase with C2, but a costly one. And so if you have the money, then by all means go for it. But if you, like myself, do have to spend your money more wisely, then perhaps going for a weapon might be an okay choice. As well, it doesn't offer a big damage increase like a C2, you will be able to use it on every character, or every polearm character, which is really good. Or going for constellations or weapons for her teammates might be a better option. For again, not only the fact that her teammates, especially characters like Bennett, will be able to play it on so many different teams, which in the long run could be much more useful. But now, all in all, if you have decided that Raiden will be the one you play till the end of time, then her C2 will be a great option. Otherwise, there are a few alternatives you can take that may be less costly. But now, what will you do? Her rerun is coming very soon, or it may already be here at the time of this video. And so personally, I probably won't be going for any constellations this time around, as I'm saving up for Ayato. Hopefully I get him. But if you are going for any constellations, I wish you all the best in your Raiden summons, whether you're picking her up for the first time or a C2, and I hope you get what you want. But now, I hope you enjoyed this video about Raiden and her constellations, and as always, I'll see you next time.